I broke 6 guitars in 1 year before I actually figured out where you could hit it. No lie. I get the bass, like the kick drum sound out of just right here by the bass, and you can't hit that too hard. That's a pretty sensitive part of the guitar. So and then you have the edge to do the treble part. This I kind of similar to a bongo sound. And you can be quite complicated with that because of the shape of the guitar right there. Your hand fits perfectly. Whereas I do that on the front, I can't really do that on the front. It's kind of like playing the steering wheel of your guitar. And then the one thing that you have to remember with it, especially when it's a solid wood guitar, that's solid all the way around, is sometimes the wood right here will split. So you have to kind of be quite careful when you hit this side, not to get too carried away with that little slab. Because I have split it right there. I actually had a $1,500 guitar once that kind of hit too hard right there, getting a bit carried away. I noticed the guitar was a lot louder, and it was because I had split the guitar from there to there. Just big white sandwich thing on it. But most of that's just trial and error. I mean, I've kind of tested the limits of what the guitar will take, and not on purpose, obviously, but sometimes you get a bit excited. It's being reasonably accurate with when you do a regular hammer on. If you get too close to the frets, it becomes quite difficult. Most of it's just hitting it hard enough. And then the other thing I'm doing is I'm doing a bit of vibrato as well to get it to ring. If you just rub it against the strings like that, it'll kind of give it a bit more sustain. And then there's a technique that I use where I'm actually strumming the guitar as well. So strum, and then the 12th fret slap. Once the strings are ringing, it becomes a lot easier to make them sound. So I do this 12th fret slap where I'm hitting a harmonic, and then after the guitar is ringing, it becomes much easier to do this. And then the pull off. Those aren't new techniques. Those are hammer on, pull offs. AC/DC's been doing that for years.
Like electric guitar more.
Yeah. It's quite difficult to do it on the acoustic. I won't lie to you. These are 13'd as well. These are quite fat strings. That is another trick as well. The bigger the string, the more sustain you're going to get out of it. But it helps having that drop D as well. Sometimes I have to use this guitar as my backup guitar. The one thing that I have done with it that I've learned from lefties is if you look at my second guitar, it's only got 5 strings on it. That's because since I'm tuning it to C, this high E would actually, in the course of the math that goes into making the C chord, this would be a high E, and it would stay a high E. But when I'm strumming it, I find the high E to be a bit, not dissonant, it's still within the harmony of the C chord, but it's out of place for me, because every other note is C, G, C, G, C. So when you throw that E in there, all of a sudden you have that really strange, the third of the chord. Yeah. Whereas this is tuned to fifths, so 1 and 5, yeah. I get to travel quite a lot. I get to go to a lot of different countries. And it becomes quite expensive to carry a lot of gear with me, so when I'm on tour in my car, which I do quite often, I do carry a mixer, and I have a TC electronic pedal that has all the effects, and I have it all pre-mixed. But stuff like this, when I'm flying, I just throw the stuff in the guitar, so it's just me and a couple of guitars. But I do have a more intense set where I have a full drum array. I have a conga that I play with my right hand when I can do it, with some little cymbals and a little shaker, and I have all that stuff, and then I have the effects for the guitar as well, and then I play the tambourine with my foot as well. What I've done is actually wired the guitar so I have 2 pickups coming out of it, so I have an assortment of sounds that I can dial out of the guitar. Because these Yamahas are really good for this new studio system. It's really good at making the guitar sound like you're sitting in a recording studio. But it doesn't pick up the resonance of the guitar for me always. So I use use this Fishman rare earth blender. It has a microphone in it, and sometimes I stick my hand in there and I just adjust the microphone, and then I fine tune it with this pickup as well to kind of get the tones that I want to get.